Today's prompt was, how'd you gain your confidence at work? And for those of you who don't know, I am recently, changed occupations. I'm no longer working for FCA, Fellowship of Christian Athletes, anymore. And so I'm very much in a new role as a freelance creator. And so I'm making a lot of things, but at the same time, when it comes to confidence, confidence is built through a consistency of action. It's built through, George Heaton, I say famously said, it resonates very highly with me what George Heaton said. George Heaton said confidence is proving to yourself that you are who you say you are. Like your actions are a direct representation of what you say you're going to do, and then you follow through on it. I think confidence is one of those things that it gets glorified by a lot of people. We think some of the people that we follow have all this confidence, and honestly, they're just relentless in doing things. So, Zach Pogrob is probably one of the people that I follow the most on social media, and he recently put out a no cuts one take challenge for 30 days. And so this is me following through and not overthinking it. I think it's cool because I know myself. I know my tendency to overthink content, to plan things that never get done. I spend a lot of energy in preparing for things, but just looking at where I've been in a social media setting, and granted, vanity metrics are all relative. They don't actually mean what they say they mean, meaning like I have less than 5,000 followers on Twitter, less than 5,000 followers on Instagram, yet one could argue the quality of people that I am engaged with and in community and connection with far exceed that number. And that's simply just because of the value that I have provided with, the way I think, the way I connect, the way I create. And so I would venture to say, confidence is not something that is like measured in, oh, hey, this person has X amount of followers, or this person has, from an athlete standpoint, this person has this many, points per game, whatever, somebody could have all of those things and still not be confident. I just can remember from my sports days, I was not the most confident person, and in a lot of ways, I was the person that, got the opportunity to play at, a high level, high D1 school for basketball, and I still very much struggled with confidence. Still had the feeling of, am I enough? Can I hold my own? Can I really be here? Should I be here? Even though I was given the opportunity, it doesn't mean that, for sure that confidence is, through the roof because I'm here. It's not always that cut and dry. I'm definitely somebody that when it comes to confidence, I love seeing people that are honest about their journey. And so I think in some ways, this is me being able to share where I currently am with it, where I've been, where I'm going to. I'm confident in the fact that my eye and my vision for what is a good story, what are things that are going to be happening in the future, it's still kind of wild to me. Like I was in the process of learning how to be a better, videographer, storyteller back in, 2015. And I was trying to bring FCA along in that sense. And some of the things that I pitched, it wasn't so much rejected, but it wasn't as highly valued as those things back then would be right now. And in many ways, I was an early adopter. It's cool because I realize I follow a lot of visionaries. I follow a lot of people who have their eyes on trends that are happening and that are even upcoming. I love having conversations with people and just getting a sense and a pulse of what's to come. A lot of people, when it comes to trends, they are just a step behind on a lot of things. And I like to pride myself on the vision that I do have on things. And sometimes I have vision and I don't necessarily execute it well. I do know it's something that I've got to get better about. And I know, especially in this new season of freelancing, I have to be the one that goes first. I have to be the one that shows you rather than just tells you. Because the reality is, when you see it play out in front of you, when you see it executed, it's like, okay, he says this, but now I've also been able to see him put it into practice. Like, practically, what does that mean? What does it look like to do what, he said he was going to do? They can look at my page, they can look at my content as examples. I have gone viral on, like, truly viral on two separate occasions. One was I used to do a basketball series on TikTok, and I called it Becoming a Better Basketball Player in Less Than a Minute. I didn't realize at the time that I had a very strong hook in the content, and there was a definite payoff on the other side of it. And so that just became a series where I was sharing different tips as a basketball player, individually, collectively, with teammates and things like that. But I realized I didn't want to be the basketball guy. I didn't want to be the person that gave basketball strategies and tips and tricks and things like that. I like basketball, but I would not say that that's where I want my services to end. I have no problem training people. I have no problem having conversations with people about it, but that's not where I want it to end. So that was one part. Another part, or another time when I went viral, was I did the World Cup remix, of I Show Speed's song. And the fact is, I had the vision of already following him because I was big into soccer. And then I had the vision of, okay, the World Cup's coming up, so he's putting this out as a precursor, like weeks in advance. And I also realized, I'm like, he has a, really niche following of, kids. He's a streamer. And so, like, that's kind of his audience. And so I'm like, okay, no one that is a substantial artist is going to find this and remix this probably until the World Cup is already going or has already passed. And so I took it upon myself. Like, as soon as he dropped it, I started writing my verse and all of that. And I knew. This is one of those, like, I knew that if I put this out, this is going to go crazy because of the cult fandom that he had. And so put the song out, shot a video to it, didn't realize that I had a nice little hook in the video. It looked like the juice box was falling from the sky. Caught the juice box, and then the words popped up, if Speed put me, on the World Cup remix. So there was a curiosity there. And then I delivered. It's one thing, like, you can have really good content, you can deliver it, but at the end of the day, it's got to be some sort of payoff for the person watching it or whatever. And so I think going back to the original prompt of, like, where does confidence come from? It comes from just, trying things and having tried things. I mean, I think in a sense, this is where the juice is built off of, like, I'm seeing things and I'm having, fruit of, oh, like I'm aware, I can see that, I know what, works. I've seen things that are successful in content and all of these things. And yet I know too that I've got to be willing to stress test it myself, because just because it worked for them doesn't mean it's going to work for me. What are things about them, like, because obviously there is an element of just consistency. As I mentioned, there's confidence. And so I have to be able to create confidence in my audience that this is something valuable that they're going to want to watch, listen to, engage with. I know what I'm capable of, and yet I still need to deliver it in such a way that makes them look smart for catching me on the early side. It's not simply just having a good product, but it's also being able to market it well and tell a good story. So this is a good exercise, and I'm looking forward to, doing a one take video for the next 30 days, at least 30 days, maybe even beyond that. I think I found a good spot to be able to record. I know that was one of the things that I had always struggled with, but I'm currently in my hallway in my house, and so got my wide angle in, so it kind of gives a nice little interesting viewpoint. But we're gonna rock with this for a little while, and yeah, I'm very excited for what's to come. And yeah, till next time.